25th of June, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay, so we're trying to figure out this Gemora. Yes, we are. Not an easy Gemora to understand, but we're trying. So yesterday we basically have two little more Rashis before we go further in the next step to the Gemora. The two Rashis that we did not finish up, we should finish them up now. And it's the last Rashi, a one-word Rashi, so that'll be good. The Bechashna. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 wide lines from the top of the bottom of the page on Hey Amid base.
The Bechashna.
Yes.
Achvash.
Achapes.
Achapes. What does that mean?
To be mechapes. That means to search out, to look, to find something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word in Aramaic. Bechashna means to be mechapes. The root of the word is ches, pei, shin, and this is what we were saying was apropos also to the custodian, not simply to the one who borrowed money, but also to the one who was a custodian, a shomer, who was given items to keep. So this that he's he's also, when he denies, we're saying over here that he's not simply denying in order to not to get out of pain altogether, and therefore he would be a goslin, and therefore we would suspect, if that's what we suspect him of, he would be called chashid on mammon. And if so, then how is it that we can say, how can Rami Bahama say that he's got a shvua to make, shvua shomrim? We shouldn't accept his shvua since he's chashid on mammon. So all right. The next Rashi. Hasamnami ishtamute mishtamet.
I think it's Hechi Garcinan. Am I in the wrong place?
Yeah.
No, there is a Hechi Garcinan. Is next.
That's the line below.
That's
the one I just read.
No, we did the ones above.
Oh, he's right. He's right. Lou is right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So Rashi has a different gears over here. Hachi Garcinan. Dahahishaita have gabe. Yes, so this is taken from the Baruch Hashem. I remember the Gemora over here. The Gemora asked a question over here. If you're going to say that this shomer is capable of not that he's capable of, but that it's possible that when he denies having the pikadon that was given to him, he's not simply trying to deny having to return it altogether. He's trying to push off the guy, and he's saying to himself, like we said in the previous Rashi, I'm going to go and find where it is, where the thief stole it and has it, or whether where it ran away to, it gets lost, and I'm going to give it back. But in the meantime, I'm denying having been given it. That's what we're saying over here. If Gemora says, if so, if that's the case, that's the way we can interpret the statement of the Shomer, so then why is it that we said previously, when we were making a distinction between the Shomer and the one who has accepted a loan, we say that when the one who accepted the loan, when he says he only owes half of what the lender told him that he borrowed, we say, oh, he's trying to just push him off, but and therefore he remains kosher edis. He remains a good aid. We don't suspect him of being chashid on mammon, of being playing games when it comes to monetary matters. But when it comes to a shomer, we say if he's a kofir, he's invalidated from being a witness. This is what we said in we said this above on the page. A few like 5-10 lines above. Gemora said, Teda da Amar Rav Ibar Avin, Amar Rav Chizda, Hakofer b'milva, somebody who denies a loan that was given to him, kosher le'edis, he remains kosher le'edis, and presumably we say because the reason that he's denying it is because he's just trying to push him off for the time being. But we said that bikadon, when it comes to a custodian who's been deposited an item, and he's not allowed to somebody that gets loaned a money, he's allowed to spend that money. That's why he borrowed it, because he's gonna spend it. Maybe he's gonna pay the guy, the previous guy that he loaned money from. But whatever, he's allowed to use it. But a guy who was given an item to watch, he's not allowed to use it at all. He's not even allowed to touch it. And so therefore, when he says that he doesn't have it, he wasn't given it, we say about him that he's trying to get out of having to give it back altogether. He's chashed on mammon, and therefore he's pasul le'edis. So Gemora says, if you're going to say that that also by this custodian that ishtamutika mishtamit, that he's going to be just trying to evade the obligation for the time being, but he's really going to pay it back. If so, then why did we say above that he's invalidated from being a witness when he denies the pikadon? Now the Gemara says, yes, we're talking about two specific cases, and one of those cases is that when he it's not just simply because he denies it; it's because witnesses come on behalf of the plaintiff and they say, oh, we know that this guy that denied the pikadon, he's got the pikadon in his backyard, or he has it on his person. He's got it on his person. That's what Rashi is going to be talking about over here. At this very time that he's speaking and denying having been given this loan, been given this deposit, he has it by him. He has it in hand. Says Rashi. Who's reading Rashi? Lou?
Arash Ahi Sha'ata de Ashtiva. That he did not garash is to write.
Goras. He's not Goras, means he doesn't have this in his text of the Gemora. Like Girsa. Girsa is the text of the Gemora.
That's not in his text that he at that time the Hishtaba
right.
That he had it.
That he swore.
That he swore. It's not in his text that at the time that he swore he had it.
Yes, right. It seems like Rashi right? Our Girsa is the Girsa in our Gemora, the text that our Gemora has, if you take a look at the text of the Gemora, you'll see that, just looking where it is actually, Haishaita. We have in our Gemara the Haishaita, and we don't, and at that time, it just says at that time. Now, the question that all of us should ask is, which time is that? At that time, right? Is it the time that he's in the Beis Din making this claim that he never got this item from this would-be depositor? Is it at the time that he made the shvua that he doesn't that he didn't do anything to that he doesn't have it, or that he wasn't given it, or whatever the shvua is? What time is it that we're talking about? So Rashi over here is saying that the way that the correct girsa is the girsa that actually we have in our Gemora. We have in our Gemora the girsa that does not specify that it was at the time that he made the shvua. It just says Hahishaita. That's what Rashi is pointing out. Hahi Garsinen, this is the correct text, that he just the Gemara doesn't specify when it was that the time was. Rashi says, what is the Gemara? What do I mean when we say we should have this as our text? I mean, this is the text, should be unspecified, and not the text that says that it was at the time that he swore. Okay. Now we are ready. So now we're holding by Akasha. We're holding by Akasha, and now the Gemara is going to say Ella. So we go back to the Gemara. Ella hada amar Rav Huna. In other words, how do we view the issue that the Gemara has over here is who is it that has the ability to make a shvua? Does he have the ability to make a shvua even if he's chashid on mammon? Or no, he doesn't. He doesn't have the ability if he's chashid on mammon. So then what's going on over here with the Dalit Shomrim? What are we talking about over here? So now the Gemara says, Ella. The first word in the line is biyadeh. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines up from the bottom of the Gemara lines.
5B3, right-hand column, top of the page, whoever the Gemara challenges.
In other words, we brought the reason when a Gemara says like this, it says Ella Amar Rav Huna. What's the Ella over here? It means to say, rather, it's like Rav Huna said, meaning to say that there's something that was presented previously that we're rejecting now. We rejected it, we discarded it, and now we got to go to Rav Huna. That's what it means when it says Ella. And if you'll ask, well, what exactly were we rejecting? Oh, that's a good question. Oh, you're on the ball. So what was it actually that we rejected over here in all of this that we said? Because we've now pushed aside the proof from that statement about the shvua of the Shomrim that we brought in the Gemara that was trying to bring a proof that in fact somebody who is chashid on mammon, even though he's chashid on mammon, he's not chashid on shvua, and therefore we could give him a shvua even though he looks to us like he might be a gazlan who's trying to get away with something. So we pushed that off. We pushed that off by saying, no, these shomrim are not necessarily gazlanim that are making the shvua. They're not suspected of gezel. So therefore, where we're holding right now is that we're trying to defend the principle that we said all along, that someone who is chashid on mammon, who is suspect of gezel, he would also be chashud on shvua. We would not allow him to make a shvua. Okay. Okay. Let's see what Rav Huna says over here. Who wants to read Rav Huna? Roy, you want to read Rav Huna?
Okay. Hello, Rav Huna. But you must account for that which Rav Huna said regarding a custodian who prefers to pay rather than swear. Mashbei Ain also Shabua Shi'ano Bashuso. We make him swear that the deposit is not in his possession. For we are concerned that he's got the deposit and wishes to pay and keep it for himself. Now, if that is a concern, Naima Miko de Hoshid Amamano Mono Hoshid Ashavua. So let us say that since he is suspect in monetary matters, he is also suspect in regard to swearing. Yet Rav Huna rules that he must swear. And an answer.
So in other words, what are we saying over here according to this? If it's the case that we're administering him a shvua, that he doesn't have the item in his possession, that he's not lying through his teeth when he says, I didn't receive this item from this person who's claiming it against me. If that's so, if we're telling him to make a shvua, so what do we hold in regard to this matter of chashid on mom and chashid on shvua? It must be that we say, is this guy chashid on mammon? It sounds like it's no, it doesn't sound like he is. And the Gemora is saying, 1 second, this guy sounds like he's chashid on mammon. You're suspecting that he is that he's trying to evade getting this, having to return this thing altogether. So that's gezel. So he's suspect on mammon. If so, how can he make a shvua? How could he make a shvua? If so, then that's what the Gemara is saying. Nema, we shouldn't be able to. We shouldn't give him the shvua. Let's say that since he's chashid on mammon, he should also be chashid on shvua. And just a reminder, what does that mean? It means that we don't look at the shvua as being in a different category than the matter of the mammon. That's the tension over here that the Gemora is trying to decipher. Do we look at the avera of mammon, that people look at it as being on the same level of severity as the avera of shvua, and therefore, if we see that they're chashid on mammon, we can't hope that he will not also be chashid on shvua. Therefore, we can't trust him with shvua. Or do we say no? Even if somebody is chashid on mammon, but we'll give him a shvua because people regard shvuas as very, very weighty and grave matters to make a false shvua in Bezdin, and therefore they would not do that. They would not do that. They might lie and try to make a claim in order to steal out somebody from his mammon. But if you ask him to make a shvua, he'll say, "Oh, sorry, that's it. I'm not prepared to make a shvua." And the Gemara is trying to prove from various sources, do we say like this or do we say like that? Okay. So now the Gemara says, we have a Rashi over here. We have a Rashi and we even have time to read it too. How do you like that? The Amar Rav Huna.
Where is Omer Rav Huna? Rav Huna says.
3 lines from the bottom of Rashi.
Yeah, look, come on, later on. The Hamifkade, if someone who deposits something,
Yeah.
Gabi a shlish.
Gali Shilem.
Gabi Shilem, that he related that he paid below Ratza Lishlen. He doesn't want to take a shvua. Omar Rav Huna says, Im ba Lishalem, if he comes to pay Mashviyim Ota, we do make him make a shvua. She'enu Barishuto, that it's not in his possession. Chayshinan, we're concerned, Shema Einav Natenbo.
Ah. Okay. What's Rav Huna saying over here?
Perhaps, what's the Einav?
Chayshinan, right? If Rav Huna says in the case where in Bala Shalem, if he comes to pay, meaning this shomer, he says, okay, you got me. I admit that this person entrusted this chayfetz to me, and I admit I was at fault, and here's the money for the item, and the person makes a evaluation how much the item was worth, and he's got to pay it, and he's coming, and he's will, and he's going to pay. So says Rav Huna, oh, this person who's coming to pay, mashbiyan also, we administer to him a shvua. What's the shvua? She'eno b'rshuso. We administer to him a shvua that this item is not still in his possession, under his dominion, because we suspect. We suspect that what do we suspect him of? Says Rashi, Chayshinan. We suspect Shema Einav Nosenbo. Maybe he set his eyes on this item, right? He's willing to pay for it because he wants it. So he's coming to pay. But Rav Huna says to him we give a shvua. He's got to make a shvua that it is not in his possession. Okay. That is, and on that the Gemora, said, look, you see by the very shvua that Rav Huna is administering to this guy, that we suspect him of keeping this item for himself, even though he's prepared to pay for it. But is the person allowed to do that? he's not allowed to do that. He can't do that. So he's suspect on mammon. And nevertheless, Rav Huna says that he can make a shvua. So you see openly that Rav Huna holds chashid on mammon is not chashid on shvua. Somebody may suspect in monetary matters, but that doesn't mean that we suspect him of being prepared to make a false shvua. And accordingly, Rav Huna says he's got to make a shvua. Okay. So here we seem to have a proof from the statement of Rav Huna that we hold chashid on mammon is not chashid on shvua. A proof from Rav Huna. Now we go to the Gemora. Hasam Nami. Gemora is the last, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines from the bottom, and the word hasam is the last word on the 5th line from the bottom. The first word on the line is chashid, the chashid. And we're starting, the Gemara is now starting from Hasam Nami. Over there also, in the case of Rav Huna, the Gemara is going to answer up Rav Huna. And we call upon Alan to continue the reading.
Okay, so the Gemara answers.
Yeah.
Some Nami Moreh Omar Domi Kor Yahava Noah Lai. There too, the custodian is not considered to be suspect in monetary matters, for he rationalizes his actions and says, "After all, I am willing to give money for what I am taking from him." The Gemara asks, Omar Lay, Rav, a chor, me the Ram V Noah, Rav Acha of the Difti said to Ravina, Bahor, Kor, Ovar al Levu, the low Sachamor. But the custodian never knowingly transgresses the provision of do not covet your fellow's property. Should be suspect. He should be suspect in monetary matters on that basis. The Gemara answers, lo satan mode shay below the masha lahu. Many people wrongly assume that even the prohibition do not covet applies only where no money is given in exchange for the coveted object. Therefore, the custodian who pays the deposit for the article the custodian wishes to keep for himself is not considered an outright thief. Accordingly, he can be made to swear the oath imposed by Rav Huna's ruling.
Okay, let's take a look at Rashi. Divrei Maskil Hassam, 2 lines from the bottom of Rashi. Phil, you want to take over for Lou?
Yeah, Chasam. I did before, but I'll continue down. Oh, Chasam, no, I have to take up right. Chasam, here, there, lo chashidim. He's not considered, he's not suspected about money. The Mori Hetera Lemar, because my master had an extra thing to say. Demi be'ene l'meitev be'ina, that he needs to give.
Yes. So Hassan Nami over here in this case with the Shomer, the Gemara is saying that he is Mora b'Omar. Rashi says Mora lo chashid amamona. He is not suspect in monetary matters. And listen carefully why it is that he's not considered to be suspect in monetary matters. Says Rashi, because the Mora Hetera, he rationalizes. He teaches himself that really what he's doing is okay. It's okay to do this. Why? It's not so bad. Why? Because he says to himself, Lemar, he says, Dami be'ina l'meitav. I'm prepared to. I want to give him money for the item that I'm stealing from him. Right. So that's not called gezel. Gezel is that you want to take the item from somebody and you don't want to pay for it. But this is not called that I'm suspect on gezel. I'm not suspect of stealing because I'm paying him for it. That's what he's Gemora Hetera. Literally, it means he teaches himself that this is a permissible thing to do. And so therefore, that the Gemora says is not called that somebody is suspect on Mammon. Apparently, somebody who's suspect on Mammon means is that he knows that this is Gezel, and that he says, it doesn't speak to me, right? The Isra of Gezel doesn't speak to me. That's called being chashiv on Mammon. Okay, and then the Gemora said, but 1 second, we have a question on what you've said just now. He's even if you'll tell me that he hasn't been in violation of the prohibition of lo sigzol, at least in his own eyes, but he's certainly over. He can't deny the fact that he's over on the prohibition of lo sakmod. He's in violation of one of the 10 commandments. 10 commandments is don't covet the things that they're owned by your friend. So we got a Rashi on this. Louis, want to read this Rashi? Last line of the Rashis.
Ka avar below tzachmod. He's in violation of the prohibition of do not covet. Ma li chashud al lo sachmod. Ma li chashud al lo tigzol. Nema migu de chashid Allah aleha chashid ashvu asa. So Mali, what does it matter if he is chashud is suspect?
Right.
Concerning do not covet, or else what does it matter to me if he's suspect concerning the prohibition of don't steal? Let us say, since that he is suspect, he is suspect on an oath. In other words, whichever thing he's suspect of, it's going to invalidate him to swear.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference, right?
Yeah, in other words, even if you say for the sake of the argument that if he wants to pay for it, he's not suspect of Gezel. Let's say that is so. Even if that would be so, which I don't know if it is, but let's say that would be so. But he is. It's not up for discussion that he's definitely over on lo sachmo. And so Rashi says Mali, what Mali means, what's the difference to me in halacha, whether he's over on this lav mina Torah, which happens to be one of the Aseres Adibros, and this lav mina Torah. By the way, lo signov in the Aseres Adibros is not referring to ordinary gezel. It's referring to gezel nefashos, kidnapping. That's one of the Aseres Adibros. But just stealing property is not that's not what the Aseres Adibros is referring to. So in any case, either one of them is a lav. So even if he's suspect on lo sakmod, let's say that since he's suspect on violating that prohibition, he'll violate the prohibition of swearing falsely also. So you haven't accomplished anything by this rationalization that you want to say with this person. Okay, I see we finished. And a round of applause for Tav Hey Amid Beis.
Yeah.
Hey!
Okay, take care.
Have a great day. Shkoya.
Thank you,
Bye,
Rabbi.
Phil. Bye, Alan.
Thank you, Rabbi Levitt.
Roy.
See you, Phil. Lou.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Have a good
Bye.
day.